Hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. So today I want to bring you all my Freddy collection. So I've just got it set up at the moment on the bar with the lights on it. Looks really good, especially the house with the light shining through it. I'm going to turn obviously the big light on when we go over these, but I just wanted to show you how it looks with the lights coming through. Looks really good, creepy. Especially the house looks fantastic. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, subscribe for us please, hit the thumbs up as well, and that'll help the channel out. So let's get into it. Right, so I'm just going to go over them quickly like this at the moment, and then I'm going to put them on the rotating base. Well, I'll only be able to put some of them on the rotating base, and then we can get like a full look at them from back to front. So we'll start off with the car. The Freddy car is obviously from the end of the first film. Really good, looks nice. Difficult one to have this one on display because at the moment I've got nowhere to put it, so it's literally just stuck on another shelf. This Freddy house is obviously based off Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, which is making the house at the beginning. This little Freddy figure, this metal one, comes with this car when you purchase this car. I just stuck it in the front of the house for now, but yeah, all this is handmade by me. It came out looking really good. This is a 1/6 scale Freddy Krueger. Absolutely love this. Never thought I would ever get a 1/6 scale Freddy, especially from Sideshow, because they are pretty expensive. But I did end up getting one, and it just finishes off my Freddy display perfectly. Yeah, and it's really good detail on that. You got the Freddy mask as well. That's done by Trick or Treat Studios. This is like the most expensive one because you get the hat as well. But I did some work to this one, so it doesn't look like this when you first get it. I added some paint and everything to it. I black washed it and everything, and I added a bit more redness to these like scars and stuff like that to make it look a bit more like it's raw basically. It came out okay. It's the first time I've ever done any work to a mask, so I probably was using the wrong sort of stuff. I could probably go back in there, maybe make it a bit more better than it looks, because you can see some of the paint and everything. It wouldn't take to some of the certain areas, and it's because of the gloss or something they've used on this mask. So if I was going to redo it again, I'd have to try and strip everything down basically and start again, but at the moment it looks fine. I did the hat as well because the hat was pretty plain. There was nothing to it. It was a lot lighter than it was, so I darkened it up and scuffed it up and made it look like it should, basically all dirty. You got the Freddy glove as well. This is Trick or Treat Studios one, and this was about, I think this was about 200 quid, but I got it on a discount because it was selling some of them off at the time, so I got a discount on that one. This Freddy here is a knock-off NECA, so it's a fake NECA Freddy piece. I got it off eBay years ago. I didn't know I was buying a fake NECA until I got it, and I realised it was a fake one. So I just ended up repainting that one and changed up basically the look of him. And you've got the Freddy Krueger from New Nightmare here as well. Looks really good. And obviously it's the cloth version. I repainted the head as well, just added a bit more redness to the scars and stuff like that, and added a bit of gloss and a bit of blood to the glove. Did the boots as well because the boots weren't matching properly when I first got this, so I sorted them out as well. And then you've got another NECA figure from the third one, and you've got this diorama that I made for it as well. I made this quite a few years ago now, so it could do with updating, redoing it again at some point. And I've just laid basically the posters out of all the Freddy movies, and this is just a little plaque with Nightmare on Elm Street, what I have in my glass cabinet when I've got it all set up. So I'm going to put some of them on the rotating base so we can have a proper look at them. So we're just going to start off with this Freddy Krueger. Now with this one, it does have a feature on the back of its head where you shine the light through the back of his head. The cross on the forehead lights up like it does in the third movie. I usually have this one on display looking like this, and obviously he's also got the needles as like fingers as well, and obviously he's got the chest of soles on as well. So it's not accurate obviously to the same because they didn't have all this going on at the time, but this is how I like to display it because I do like the look of the chest of soles on him, and I like the needles on his fingers. I think they look really good, and I like the cross on the head as well. So this is why I have this version of him on display basically. But yeah, it's a really good piece by NECA. I would love to have this in retro foam. I think you can get it, but it's an old piece now, so it'll probably be difficult to get hold of unless NECA decide to reissue it, and then I'd probably end up picking the retro version up because I do prefer the retro ones over the plastic ones. I don't know, the cloth ones always seem to pop out more for me. I do prefer the cloth ones over the plastic ones, but the sculpt and the paintwork is pretty good. Obviously you can see your seam line and everything because you can change the chest out and everything, but yeah, it looks pretty good. As I say, it's just basically going to be, it just gets used for standing in front of the diorama of the house. We'll bring that in next, but I can't put it on the rotating base because it's a bit wobbly at the moment because it's obviously with it being a really old piece now, what I made a few years ago. It's got a bit of a wobble to it, so we'll bring it in now anyway so you can see a better look at that diorama. Right, so this is like I said, this is a handmade diorama by me. It was a few years ago, as I say, when I did this one, so it could do with an update basically, redo it all again. If I redo this one, it'd be like the third time I've done it though, because the original one didn't look as good as this one, and then I think now it's getting a bit old now. I mean, the brickwork looks okay, but it doesn't look as good as it should do now. The door and everything looks pretty good on it, and obviously the boarded up windows, and yeah, as I say, it looks okay, but I just think it needs an update. Some of the paintwork has literally come off the handle as well because it's supposed to be yellow, but yeah, so it does need some work, and it's, as you can see, it's just wobbled there because it's the top end's heavier for it, and it just needs basically some more support in it, but I just haven't done it because I just need to redo it basically. And once it's on the shelf, it sort of sits fine. But you can see I've done the sides like the same colour as Freddy's jumper, just to add some extra to it. But you can see there's nothing going on at the back, just mainly all at the front. But yeah, definitely needs updating. Probably do that eventually. And as I say, if I do update it and redo it all, I will do a video of it. But as I say, it'll be the third time I'm doing it, so hopefully the third time will be the last time that I update this one. Right, so we'll bring the next one in. Now we just don't want to stay like that. Yeah, we'll bring the next one in now before it falls apart on me. Right, so we brought the Freddy car in now. So as I said, this is Freddy car, comes in right at the end of the first one. I think it looks really good. It's all metal as well, so it's got some weight to it. It comes with this little Freddy as well, which is also made of metal, so he's got some weight to him. It doesn't go in the car or anything. Parts of the car does open though, if I can get them open. I'm pretty sure the bonnet opens, or does it? There we go. So the bonnet does open. I think the doors open as well. I'll try that now. Yeah, so you can see the doors open as well. So as I say, it looks really good, this one. It's just difficult to display it with my Freddy collection because it doesn't fit on the glass cabinet. And you can see you've got looks like it's supposed to be Nancy just sat in the front there. But yeah, looks really good. I just love the colour of it, just the redness obviously, and just the top of the roof and everything with the Freddy colours. Really good piece. Yeah. So that's the car basically. There's not much else to go over with the car. I just wanted to bring it in. And there goes Freddy. So we'll bring the next piece in now. Right, so I've brought in the different version of Freddy in now. So this one, as I said earlier, that this is an actual fake one. I bought this off eBay a few years ago, and when it came in that, I thought it was alright, and then I realised that it was actually a fake one. So I ended up basically, I kept it for all in years anyway. I just kept it in a box, and then I thought, well, I just use it for something else, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to repaint it, and I'd like, so it's got like a metal look to him basically. I think it turned out really good. Obviously I repainted the head, and I repainted the extra head as well, what you get with it, so I can swap the heads out. And I also painted the hat as well, so the hat can just sit on his head. Now, as I say, and I really enjoyed doing this actually. I really like it, and it's a real different look for Freddy. I've put like bits of blood splashed on him just to make it pop a bit more. And the look with the one that I'm basically, the head sculpts that I'm rocking at the moment is based off the scene from the first one when he rips his front of his face off and there's just like a skull. Really like that look on him. But yeah, and I added a bit of blood as well to his blades. But yeah, I think it came out looking really, really good and really different, and it really does stand out on the shelf because it's something what's like pretty unusual, and yeah, it makes me want to buy basically more NECA fake figures and just do the same. You could do like I think I said in one of my other videos, you could get all like say like all the iconic horror characters and just paint them all basically a black and white, so they're like got the same look as the other NECA figures what they're coming out with, the old versions of like of Dracula and Frankenstein and stuff like that. You can get two different versions. You get a colour version, you can get a black and white version, and you could do the same with these ones. Obviously the iconic horror characters. Obviously you've got Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers. But yeah, so you could just basically get the cheaper versions basically on eBay when you know they're going to be fake, because the sculpts on them are usually pretty good. It's usually the paintwork what lets them down, and the joints on them, like the legs and stuff like that, can be loose. So, but there's ways of fixing that to tighten them all up. And I did make a little diorama of this one because the box that it came and everything, I thought I might as well use the box as well, and that's what I did. So we'll bring the box in now. So that's the little diagram that I made for him. So he just sits in the box, so you can see he's obviously got all like the pipes and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be like the scene, like he's basically where the boiler sort of scene. You've got like real chains hanging off. Yeah, I think it looks really good. I think it just looks really different on your shelf. Yeah, super glad that I did this one. Because originally, as I say, it was just sitting in a box. So I'm glad that I thought of something to do with it basically, and I did, and I think it looks really, really good. So we'll go on to the next Freddy figure now. Right, so we've got the Freddy Krueger from New Nightmare. Now this one, originally when I started collecting again, and I'm a big fan of Freddy. It was one of my favourite films growing up, all the Freddys. But the New Nightmare one, I never liked. I never liked at all the fact that he looked different, changed it and all. Just didn't like the way it was. And then I watched it again about, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago. And I looked at it, and we've been watching it as a grown man now. Obviously when I was younger, when I was watching these, I just looked at it differently, and I thought it was a really, really good film. I think it's pretty underrated, to be fair. He has got a different look to him, and that sort of put me off this new version of Freddy. But I actually really like it. I actually like the version what it is at the moment. So it made me really want to get it. So I had to get the piece in, and plus it's retro cloth as well. So that made me want to get it even more. But there's a few issues with this one. I did do a video and went over everything. It is a NECA one. One of the boots was sort of lacking like like what can I call it? What can I say? It was lacking a bit of colour basically. It was a bit dull than the other boot. So what I did, I went in there and I basically just added some gloss to it. Basically, glossed his boots up, and that made him look a lot better than they did when I first got it. Same with the head as well. I went in there and I added a bit of extra blood and stuff like that to his to the scarring on his head and everything, just to make it pop a bit more, because it won't popping enough. I think it was pretty dull. It was like pretty matte dull finish to it. So I did that, and I also glossed it up a bit as well, his eyes and just a bit of the top of his head and everything, just to make it stand out a bit more. I added a bit of blood as well to the glove. Now, I didn't even pick up on this, which is really strange, but I didn't pick up on this because we've been a Freddy fan. I never actually picked up on this. Obviously, with this being New Nightmare, he's actually got an extra blade on his thumb. Now, I didn't even notice that until a friend just popped round, because I made him a diorama, and he popped round to pick it up and he was talking about, because I had all my Freddy's set out and everything, saying that I was going to be doing a video on it. And he said about it's the only one what's actually got a blade on his thumb, and I never even noticed that. So I don't know if everyone's noticed that or it's just me. But yeah, so I thought I'll mention it in the video, because surely I can't be the only one who didn't even notice that. But yeah, I didn't even pick up on it that he's got a blade on his thumb, and obviously in the original, all the other Freddy's with his glove, he don't have a blade on there. So I'm assuming why he's got a blade on there, because obviously it's a bone and it's basically coming out of his hand, so he hasn't got a glove on in the New Nightmare. So that's why there's an extra blade on his thumb, because it would make sense, because obviously there's a bone there. So yeah, but yeah, I did not pick up on that at all. Didn't even click on or anything, which is really weird. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention it. But yeah, I think this Freddy is really, really good. This is probably, it's still new to me, this one, but it's one of my favourites. I just love the look, what he's got on him, with the big coat and the interior they've done on it as well by Neckhead. They've done a really, really good job on this one. It's got to be up there. It's going to be one of the, probably in the top 5, I reckon, in retro cloth figures have done. It is for me anyway. Yeah, I think it looks really, really good. It does really stand out as well on the shelf. So there's not much else to go over. I just wanted to obviously bring it in, and yeah, really, really good piece. Right, so we'll bring in something else in now. Right, so I've brought in the Freddy house, the Freddy prop house, when she's making it in the third one at the beginning of Dream Warriors. This one obviously can't go on a rotating base, but luckily my table does rotate. So I've done all the sides and everything. The only thing what's missing, it's basically, I tried to make it pretty much identical to the one in the movie, but there's a couple of differences I did with mine. So you've got the windows at the back here, at the side of the house, but there's supposed to be the same windows at this side as well, but I left them off. And the back as well, I'm pretty sure I put windows in the back as well, like it should do. Yep. So there's windows in the back, so you can see some of the foam and stuff. You can see where it's exposed, but that's the way I like it. So obviously the newspaper's just basically gone onto it. So it's not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be bits of loose wallpaper, loose newspaper on it, and then obviously it's just lolly sticks all for the rest of it. But yeah, I think it looks really, really good. It wasn't too difficult to make this one. I think the most difficult thing on this was trying to get the measurements right, and that was about it really. The rest of it was pretty simple, pretty easy. It's just getting the measurements right. Once you've got the measurements right and everything, getting obviously the shape and everything right, then it's pretty easy to do the rest. But yeah, it does look really, really good on top of the glass cabinet. So yeah. Right, so we'll move on to the next one. Right, so I brought in the mask and the glove as well now. So I brought them both in together, because this is how I display it anyway in my glass cabinet. I display them both together. I think they look fantastic together. Now the jumper and a bit of the material with his vest, somebody knit me that. So which was my mum. My mum knit all this for me, which was really good of her to do, and it needed it because it does make it look basically, if it just finishes it off perfectly, it would look pretty. It looked pretty boring, to be fair. If all this was off, you'd just see bits of the hand and everything. I have thought about doing something with this hand, maybe repainting it and everything, because obviously so it matches a bit more. But every time I usually have it on display in the gas cabinet, it's usually this sort of angle that the blades are sitting. But yeah, the Trick or Treat Studios mask is really good, and obviously this one's based off the first one because that's what I wanted. The glove, I think the glove is actually based off the third one, or was it the first one? I can't remember now. It might be based off the first one actually. I'm not so sure. I can't remember. It might say in the label, but I'm not messing about digging for the label to see which one it's based off. But anybody obviously who's a big fan of Freddy Krueger and probably knows every single glove that he wears will probably know that which one this one's based off. It's rather the first one or the third one. I'm pretty sure it's the first one, but I don't know. As I say, it looks really good though. Really good together. And as I said, I did do some work to this hat because it was just clean, and it was a lot brighter than it was. So I've darkened it up as best as I could, and I think it looks really good together. So we'll bring in the final piece, and it's the most expensive piece out of my Freddy collection. It's one of my favourite pieces as well because it just looks so good. So we're going to bring that in now. So here's my favourite Freddy piece in the collection. It's the 1/6 scale Freddy Krueger done by Sideshow. Now it's my favourite because it has to be the favourite, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day I paid a lot of money for this. It was like $250, and that's a lot of money to me. £250 is a lot of money to me, especially just for basically a figure which is just basically just going to stand there, and that's it. All you're going to be doing is basically putting it in certain poses and stuff like that. That's one of the best things about getting 1/6 scale figures, the fact that you can put them in different poses, so you're never going to get bored of them basically. Because if you get a statues are really good. I've seen loads of good statues out there, especially with Freddy and that, but they're always in one pose, and it's that pose all the time. You can't change it. So this is why I like collecting my figures, basically my 1/6 scale or even the NECA figures. I'm a big fan of NECA. It's a real good price for value. They put a lot of good detail in it. But 1/6 scales obviously are bigger. So these are 12 inches, and then obviously your retro ones of NECA, they're about 8 inches. So these stand out on your shelf, and obviously you can see the detail and the sculpt more on them as well. The clothing as well is really good on it. Now a lot of people, like I said, I did a review on this video on this version of this 1/6 scale Freddy, and I did say that a lot of people complained. They complained about the hat, saying the hat's too high up, but I really like it. I can't see, but it's not a big deal to me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. It's never, since I've had this piece in my collection now, I've had it for a good, I think about 4 or 5 months now. It's never bothered me yet. I've never looked at it and gone, I need to take that hat off and lower his head, or lower the hat further down on his head. It doesn't need it at all. All you need to do, if it bugs you that much, just position his head in a different way. That's all you need to do. But it just looks so good. The sculpt on it and the paintwork on the face and everything, in the hands, the glove, just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love this one. So it's one of my favourite in my Freddy collection. It's not my favourite out of everything, but it's my favourite in the Freddy collection. You can see bits of blood on his blade there just splashed on. And I mean that face sculpt, the paintwork and the eyes, the teeth, just looks so good. Just get it in focus. I mean, look at that. Looks brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the clothing as well is really, really good. The boots as well, the boots are fantastic. This looks really good. Yeah, I really love this one. Now, maybe it's. I'm saying I love this one, which I do. Maybe down the line, maybe next year, I might touch it up with a bit of paint. I might add a bit more redness to his scars, make him a bit more wetter look as well. I think it'll add to it. I think it will add to it. I think it'll look even better than it does. But at the moment, I'm leaving it as it is. It does look good at the moment, but I reckon a little touch up to it would make it pop even more on the shelf. It'll just basically, yeah, just look absolutely fantastic. But yeah, basically that's it. Anyway, that's all my Freddy stuff that I've got in my collection. I don't think I'm going to be getting any more Freddy pieces because there ain't enough room. Literally in my glass cabinet, all I usually have on display is the mask, the glove, and obviously this one's at scale, and obviously this sign as well. That's all I can fit in that glass cabinet. I can't fit anything else on. Like the house, what I made, that sits on top of the glass cabinet, and then the rest of the stuff just usually goes on the shelves. So I won't be getting any more Freddy stuff. I say that, but then I'm thinking, there's a couple of little Freddy props that I want to buy, but if they pop up and I've got the money for them at the time, then maybe I might get them. But at the moment, I'm done with Freddy. So basically, that's the end of the video. So I just wanted to obviously, just like I said, show you all the Freddy collection, what we have, and obviously, hopefully you've liked this video. Hit the thumbs up for me if you could. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed, and hopefully we'll have some maybe new to review in the collection. I hadn't out for a while. Hopefully I get some soon. I'm looking forward to getting the new Finn from NECA and the dog one. Hopefully that will be coming out very soon. It's supposed to be coming out in November, but I'm hoping it comes out in September. But we'll see anyway. But anyway, we're going to finish the video now. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. So, bye-bye.